Hello, this is Evan Eckert here with another Evan Talks video. Today we're going to be recapping the Miami Marlins versus St. Louis Cardinals series and what the offense looked like, the starting pitching. We're going to talk about trade deadline and what the Cardinals are going to do during that time. And then we're going to talk about the next series that's going to come up against the Atlanta Braves. So today, the Cardinals won by a score of 2-1 off of a clutch 2-run home run from Brian Torres, sealing the game at a 2-run score at the end. The Cardinals did lose the series overall, with the Torres home run being the only bright spot from the offense this series. The Cardinals did not play well. The pitching did pretty good, but the offense was terrible. But this has just been a rough couple of series for the Cardinals. The Cardinals have lost ground in the standings, in the wild card standings especially. They lost traction to the Cubs and Phillies. They sit below them. They started this series specifically in the first wild card. Now they find themselves in the third wild card, only a half game above the Padres and Marlins. But anyways, the offense this series did not do good. Last series I talked about the pitching staff being the big worry and that the offense was almost a lock. But that has flipped since this series, those narratives. The Cardinals only scored 3 runs with only 2 games they scored. They got shut out the first game. They scored 1 run in the 5-1 victory for the Marlins, and then 2 runs off the bat of Brian Torres. The risk this series was not great. They went 0 for 5 in the first game, 1 for 3 in the second game, and then 0 for 3 in today's game, resulting in a batting average of .090 with RISP the whole series, which is terrible. It's not great. So they really need to lock in on that for this upcoming stretch of games. Towards the All-Star break, they have to face the Braves, Brewers, and Cubs. They have to face the Braves twice, actually. But am I worried about this offense? Not really. I believe it's still very well to put. I believe it's a very well offensive lineup. I think it's. I think they just ran into tough pitching with a really hot team in the Miami Marlins, but they again have to play a very rough stretch of games until we reach the All-Star break. So hopefully they're able to lock in against these teams. So we'll see what happens. But the starting pitching today, this series actually did quite well. McGreevy started the first game. He went 6 innings, 5 hits, 0 earned runs, 1 walk, and 4 Ks. While Palante went 6.2 innings pitched, but he gave up 5 runs on 11 hits. So he wasn't the stopper like we talked about in other videos, but he was able to give the Cardinals length and rest the bullpen up. Also, Leahy pitched great today. He pitched 5 innings, 2 hits, 1 earned run, 3 walks, and 5 Ks. That's his 3rd awesome start in a row, so it's really exciting to see him and what he's been able to do. If you would have asked me a month ago, I would have told you probably should put a timeline on his starting role, because you need to throw. The bullpen was really weak at the time. It still is, and he can't get through the third time through the lineup. He's practically a home run derby pitcher at that point. But he's been a pleasant surprise the past 3 or 4 starts he's pitched. So that's exciting. Dustin May did not pitch this series. He had health issues and fatigue issues, I believe, from his past 2 starts. So he'll pitch the 3rd game. Nothing major, but he'll pitch the 3rd game against the Braves. But now we get to the trade deadline. What will the Cardinals do? This is actually a very interesting question and has a lot of layers. Well, if the Cardinals are performing and they are not performing, it's a very easy answer. They sell. They sell Dustin May. They sell Jojo Romero, maybe even Stanek, and maybe even Nootbaar. But if they are contending still and looking for a wild card spot, it'll be a lot of creativity, I believe. I think they do or in my opinion, I see them trading Dustin May. I think you cannot neglect the prospect capital you can get from him, because he is a very serviceable and has been really good this season. He's proven himself. I believe if they are in this position, I believe they keep Nootbaar because it keeps your outfield very good. With Jordan Walker being an all-star, Nathan Church upgrades significantly offensively from Victor Scott, and Nootbaar upgrades your outfield corner outfield spot as well. So and then the platoons of Nelson Velasquez, even though he's not very good defensively, he can mash left-handed pitching. So I believe you keep Nootbaar right there. He's been awesome ever since coming off the IL. And it's basically like making a trade earlier in the season when he came off the IL, because he upgraded your outfield. The most interesting player, in my opinion, is Romero, and maybe even Stanek. But Romero especially, because he has been teams have looked in on him the past couple of years, but the Cardinals have never pulled the trigger. But this is his last season with the Cardinals before he hits free agency. It'll be very interesting to see, because we really do need him. We don't have very many left-handed relievers down in the minors, unless you want to call up Jared Schuster again. But you really need Romero. He's been awesome. He had a really bad June, but other than that, he's been great. So it'll be very interesting to see. They could bring up Motts or Matthews to take that role. And then Justin Bruhl has also been very good in his last 15 appearances, to a tune of 2.55 of his ERA. And he's lowered his season overall season numbers. His ERA is now 3.89, which is actually very surprising to me. I did not see that coming. So it'll be interesting to see what they do with Romero, because it is his last season before he hits free agency. So they can go a ton of different routes with this. They can keep players. They can sell all of them. They could hold on to all of them and buy at the deadline, which I think is very doubtful. But I think you see at minimum one or two guys go. One or two significant guys. So anyways, other news. Well, this debunks my whole last video on whether or not Matthew Liberatore was going to make his start, because he starts Tuesday. Woohoo! Yeah. I'm not a fan of it. It looks like the Cardinals are seeing something in him and don't want to give him up, which I get it, because it is a rebuilding year after all. We started this season, but it's just not been good since the second half of last year. He has held a 5.32 ERA since July 11th from last year. He's been terrible since July 11th. And fun fact, I was actually at that game, and he blew up, I think it was 3 innings, 6 or 7 earned runs against the Braves. I was actually at that game, and it was very disappointing, because I think we could have won because our offense was on fire, but Liberatore was not on fire. But maybe there's like this thing where the Braves are his reverse effect, where he blew up after the Braves saw him last season, but now maybe it's the reverse effect. He faces the Braves, goes 7 innings, no runs, and then goes on to be an absolute all-star the rest of the season. Very unlikely, very doubtful of that, but it could happen. Baseball's weird, so I hope it does. I hope he proves me wrong, but personally, I would have kicked him out 2 starts ago. But anyways, other news is Riley O'Brien had another clean save today. He went 1, 2, 3, and for his 20th save, woo! So that's really fun. If the Cardinals want to go anywhere in this season, they have to have O'Brien back to his when he started the season, or just like 75% of that, not where he was the past month or two. He was terrible. So hopefully the Cardinals get him back to being Riley O'Brien and the stopper in the bullpen because we really need him. Going into the Atlanta series, the Cardinals start on Tuesday and they'll go till Thursday. They will have the pitching matchups are Matthew Liberatore against Martin Perez on Tuesday, Michael McGreevy against Reynaldo Lopez on Wednesday, and then Thursday is Dustin May against Grant Holmes. I do not know Martin Perez's, and I don't know any of the Brave starters' ERA off the top of my head, but I do believe we lose the first game with Matthew Liberatore. I see us. I honestly, I see us losing this series. I could see us losing the first two and then winning the next one, the last one with Dustin May. But hopefully they prove me wrong. Hopefully they win this series. Hopefully a sweep. Again, doubtful. But the Cardinals really need to step up the remaining series until the All-Star break. So it'll be interesting to see. Again, I don't see them winning this series. That's just my pessimistic take, but hopefully they prove me wrong. Well, anyways, that's the wrap of the third episode of Evan Talks. I hope you guys enjoy, and keep watching Cardinals baseball. Have a good night. Bye.